this action's about. Here we go. We have IX Gaming that we're going to be watching here against Apple. So we're going to see how this shakes out. We're going to be on the side, on the purple side for us is going to be IX Gaming here.
Yep, IX versus Apple is going to be a really fun one. I recognize some of the names on the side of Apple, but IX is going to be exciting to see what they're going to pull out. One of the most interesting things I think we can mention off the top is Tybusol on this Venusaur pick. I think I expected them to be playing a lot more of the Alolan Ninetales in this tournament, but resorting back towards the Bulbasaur attack, or Venusaur attacker rather. An interesting look for that of IX.
Yeah, Pikadiff as well on the Chansey Future Blissey here. That I think is worth noting. And that Audino, does that go to that? That went to the other squad here. Apple going ahead and taking that down. It looks like Photo was able to nail that one, and that's a good start for them. Good experience boost as Pikadiff is playing very far forward, and they're working through, and they kind of get isolated by the Pikachu getting pressured on, and finally forced to retreat. As great diversion ran by Tybusol and Elky to get them out of danger.
Yeah, Pikadiffs definitely would love that focus band back though. Having to spend that cooldown already just on a first Audino means that they might not have it available for first Bs. Pikadiff's going to have to play a little bit safer when it comes to that situation. Let's take a look at the top lane right now. Lucario all the way back at spawn, never a good sign. And Mitsuline is the jungler player, is actually going to be playing Blastoise jungle here. So a really interesting pick. Also, if you see them saving the Aipom right here, just making sure Lucario gets to that level 5, unlocks extreme speed. So important to have that available to them.
As soon as you say that, a Frogadier just catches a Bone Club to the grill, and they're sent packing, as now the Lucario and Mitsu are pushing forward in the top path. But the action's kicking off in the bottom here. Pikadiff playing far forward. Great hollow air on that Blissey. Great look as Bucket sends in just a little thunder to buy Apple some space in that bottom path so they can get this Audino.
Yeah, Bucket's playing really good, utilizing the Pikachu spells or, moves in ways not just to do damage, but also to space out and gain advantages for their team in whatever angle they can. LKJ taking a ton of burst damage, but they're able to make it away pretty safe. One of the advantages of this tri-bot lane meta we're in right now is the get out of jail free cards are pretty plentiful.
Absolutely. Good little surf by Silent Red, too. That was a good chip in to really buy Apple some time to do what they wanted to do on their side. But here comes the South Bouse, the Lucario from the top path. And, of course, the jungle, that Frogadier was very low HP. So they want to probably sit in that goal zone a bit and restore some of that before the action kicks off. Just level 6. That's not exactly where you want to be.
Just level 6 and a super early rotation. They have all 5 players down here for second Bs right now. So a gigantic investment in this bot lane. That's going to mean that the jungler and top laner, so OG and Mitsuline, will have free reign when it comes to this top lane goal zone. They're going to be able to get a nice break, but they should be able to get all these Bs on their side. Nice surf by Silent Red.
Yeah, buying a lot of space, but the Vespiquen isn't down yet. Everybody's kind of chipping into it. I'm not too sure who got it.
I think I got it, yeah.
Oh, IX went ahead and plucked that away. That's a great look. Now, Apple's playing forward, trying to get some Audinos on the side of IX Gaming's board, and now the Dreadnaught's here. And, of course, IX Gaming is trying to roll down, and the Lucario and Mitsu are there just in time as the Dreadnought is leashed over to Apple's side. But Tybusol, Pikadiff, Mitsu in the grill here. And is that going to take over to Blastoise? So close is Mitsu going to work through and trying to get that level 9 off the body. Dreadnought resets, and Apple has gotten kind of bullied out. They're kind of low on HP, but so is IX Gaming. Pikadiff playing forward, LKJ working through, Dreadnought down to 30%, and now we're watching Lucario speeding through. They're starting to catch some heat, and the left side team takes it, so with that experience and shields, they're going to be able to push back as 3 players are down on Apple, and this goal zone is about to get shattered here as 4 Buckets is about to get those buckets rained in their face.
Fantastic work out of IX. They're a very long and drawn out team fight. However, they were able to finally flip it in their direction. So nice final hit there by LKJ, who's caught out a little bit. Silent Red able to try to get that muscle band stun, but the trick able to get LKJ out of harm's way and out of danger. Neither team prioritizing Rotom very much in this situation. With both tier 1 goal zones still being available, Rotom's not getting a ton of value. But Sauceboss goes down to IX as OG, one of the best top lane players in the entire game by far. I don't think that's a secret anymore. OG is just such a dominant force on this Lucario.
Absolutely. With Mitsu on the Blastoise too, they're buying a lot of real estate for them to work, and they're going through. Venusaur getting a KO downstairs, they're pushing forward, and so is Pikadiff. And this goal zone is not going to be long for this world. Bucket's trying to do their best, but it's shattered in their face. And now just the push up by the Venusaur Tybasol as they're trying to look for a body to take and putting the pressure on. Photo and Silent Red trying to get in there and save them with the surf here. Tybasol re-engaging. The action never stops. Unite move by the Pikachu, Buckets to get in the middle. Unite move back by Tybasol, and now Buckets is on the verge. They get eaten up, and the dinosaur's feeling it as Blissy's the one to close it out on them. And finally, Apple retreats, and IX lets him off the hook.
Buckets is playing really, really well, finding a great places to use their Unite move, finding these places where they can burst a ton of damage to net themselves some good KOs. However, the only difference is the backup on the side of IX is just so strong. Pikadiff and Tybasol are just playing together so well that it's hard to net yourselves. It's getting 1 KO is one thing, but getting 1, 2, and out is almost an impossible task against IX right now.
That is without a doubt. Sauceboss trying to see if they can identify just a moment where they can make a difference here. But IX already ripping through this Dreadnought. Here comes Silent Red trying to lean the charge for Apple. See if they can make a play, maybe use a surf. Here comes the Greninja, though, and the Hoopa Unbound is going to pull everybody in like the Avengers, and now they're working through. They're isolating the Greninja goes down, and now the Dreadnought's about to bite the dust. Of course, it's Lucario that takes it, and now they're catching all the bodies here on the beach. This is Apple, and all 4 of them are down, and the Lucario is not about that action, not even joining the flow happening in the bottom path. Since a KO streak of 2 for the Blastoise, and Mitsu is starting to climb that experience ladder.
Yeah, no kidding. Mitsu playing a really, really fantastic jungle Blastoise. A very weird pick, obviously. I think a lot of people would not expect that Pokemon to be in the jungle kind of position. However, having that much damage on the, recently buffed Rapid Spin Water Spout is going to get you a lot of extra value. Pikatiff able to get out with that Safeguard ability, unstoppable healing, all that stuff is going to make them very, very strong in that regard.
Just a great look with that score shield as well by that Blissey. And we saw in the March finals how important that can be when Faz is using it. So a great just item to be carrying if you're a Blissey here. Now the Rotom is going to be sent down the lane as we kind of saw Apple push up and then immediately go, nah.
One thing that's going to be interesting is that these teams are pretty even across the board in experience. IX definitely having a slight advantage, but the jungle position for both teams are almost neck and neck. If this becomes down to a flipped situation, which it shouldn't with a lead of 322-0 for IX right now, but the win condition for Apple to come back in this game is definitely going to be Corey Bro, I think I'll call him, on this Greninja, almost level 13. Can make a lot happen with a strong Greninja Unite move.
Yeah, but they can't go down here. That's 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, and they're getting chunked for big damage. Again, IX just kind of going back. Mitsu resets, and LKJ going to posture around the middle, and they're going to be able to use their Hoopa Unite to pull everybody in whenever they want. Tybasol working on the experience, already level 13, now 14, and that's critical for a Venusaur, as we know. Tybasol going to posture around the Dreadnought. They're going to see if they're going to make a play here on it as before the Zapdos kicks off. Looks like nobody's really interested as Apple kind of leashes around, goes to the middle, the Pikachu shows up, but they don't have enough time to close it out as maybe they're just trying to get vision, but OG is catching out Sauceboss and LKJ is there as well, and now Sauceboss is forced to retreat and can't join up with the squad. Pikachu going for the back cap. Do they get the points? And they do. That's 86, but Mitsu's right there to give them the receipt for scoring. How dare you for your insolence? Buckets uses your Unite move, and Mitsu joins back in the middle. We see the Hoopa Unbound on the right-hand side using their Unite at the top, but nobody really has gotten pulled in, and now we're engaging across the board. The Unite moves are coming in, LKJ getting the better of it because Hoopa came out last. Venusaur getting the KO on the Slowbro, working through Buckets. OG trying to find the next one on the chopping block. 1 player down for Apple, 3 players down for Apple, 4 players down for Apple, and just the Pikachu stands. Where's the Pikachu? Bang! They're gone, and everybody's down for Apple as IX Gaming gets free reign on these goal zones.
Fantastic team fight there out of IX. It was getting really close to, you have to remember that Sauceboss on this Lucario was running the close combat power-up punch, so always going to be a threat to last hit and flip that Zapdos. However, even before that, it was close, but even before that really became a factor, IX Gaming was able to hunt down the members of everybody else on Apple and actually able to shut them down. So yes, this game scoreline is an absolute stomp. We're looking at 846 to 86, probably going to see even a couple more dunks go in right now, but just so many points going in. However, the game could have went the other direction, or at least given Apple a little bit of a comeback were that Zapdos to flip. But great heads-up play, team fighting from IX, making sure that they shut down any comeback angle out of Apple, and cementing themselves a nice first-round victory.
It looked good by IX Gaming. That's what we call a confidence booster. I know things went a little sideways when their little brother IX GT drug them to the woodshed kicking and screaming and showed them who's boss there. But Apple, unfortunately, catching the back end of the bad day from IX here as they're just putting in the stomping and they're being relentless, not letting Apple get just an inch. Not giving them an inch here is Mitsu finally retreating a little bit. And Apple going to go for the pride KO on Mitsu. Can they get it? 2-1. Yes! They close it out. Sauce Boss catches that one, catches that body right before time expires to just have something, a little personal win, if you will, Zoinks, in what was unfortunately an absolute slaughter.
Yeah, no kidding. Lots of points, obviously. A scoreline of 860 to 80 is going to be pretty tragic. KO stats across the board, pretty even. Tybasol, though, with a fantastic performance, 112k damage. A lot of that probably just in that last minute on the enemy goal zone. Them healing that much and Pedal Dance stacking that up very, very high. But fantastic play out of IX. Game 1 going a landslide victory their direction. Apple not really able to put up as much of a fight as they needed to in a couple of situations. That being said, still some interesting looks on the side of IX. doobsnax, what do you think of a Blastoise jungle?
I think a Blastoise jungle looks great. We really saw its strength yesterday during the G4 Unite series as this was coming out a little bit. What was most impressive with that was actually in tandem with Alolan Ninetales and Pikachu, where you had those kind of big burst Unite moves. So what you do is you'd have the Blastoise Unite first, try and catch 4 or 5 of them, and then the Pikachu Unite would follow suit immediately. So while they're kind of getting kicked up, that Pikachu Unite is pulsing through, dealing massive amounts of damage. And I think the way that IX Gaming is approaching this is Blastoise Unite to pop them up, and then the Venusaur Pedal Dance to kind of come through and do that damage, and then of course the Unite move that's available to them as well. So it's really kind of a 1-2 punch there to get the other team. You kind of CC them up, kind of square them away, and then wipe them down once they're trying to find their footing again. I've been impressed with it. It certainly has its moments to shine, but also if you don't have anybody to unite with, sometimes it falls a little short and looks a little flat. Didn't look bad in that one, of course. Did not look bad in that one, of course.
The composition definitely has its pitfalls. Like you were mentioning, in a one-on-one situation, neither of those Pokemon are looking fantastic, but you have the support. They could definitely find a huge amount of value. Another threat that could be towards this composition is just the amount of scaling you need. Both Venusaur and Blastoise Pokemon that are that triple evolution need to get quite a bit of farm to be able to keep their heads above water, if you will, in terms of keeping up in damage numbers and how fast these Pokemon scale. Yeah. However, the real situation, though, is that Blastoise doesn't need that much farm after getting to that final evolution. Once they get to that level 9, I mean, the Hydro Typhoon is just such a strong ability. Having it on lock is just gonna be enough. That's all you really need to make that Pokemon viable and strong. So at that point, you can kind of lend the farm over to the side of the Venusaur, get them to scale and match up to the rest of the squad. All of a sudden, your Night moves are doing incredible amounts of damage, not to mention you're an extremely, extremely tanky team. You're looking at a late-game team fight, you're looking at Hoopa Unbound, a Blissey ult, a Venusaur that can heal constantly, a defender HP pool and defense pool of Blastoise. The only other Pokemon I'm missing is a Lucario, who's got the mobility and, again, another Unite move for survivability. So it can be extremely hard to find a KO on anyone on that squad.
Yeah, especially when you factor in Blissey with, I love how you've called it, the way you've described it to me, is the get down Mr. President Unite.
Absolutely.
You know, and that Blissey can truck and trailer onto the Venusaur, and God forbid it truck and trailers onto the Blastoise, cranking up its damage output, but of course protecting it, giving it a considerable amount of boost of protection there, and allowing it to just keep rapid spinning and doing its thing in the face of multiple players, even though they're trying to burn down that Blastoise. it's just tough sledding when that Blissey gets involved as well. So we're jumping into game 2. Great look by IX Gaming, and I expect more of the same as I'm checking out the loadouts here, and I'm not seeing any changes.
No, looking the same across the board. Silent Red, I think, was definitely the bright spot of Apple that we saw, or really the MVP. Them and Buckets, I think. The bot lane for this team is looking pretty strong. We'll try to jump towards their POV right at the start. But yeah, some really, really strong players in that bot lane scenario. I think Buckets was playing really well. We were calling it out at the start. Nice use of their Pokemon moves to create space as well as do a lot of damage. So Silent Red also finding some nice surf through the walls. Good mechanics on the side of Apple.
Yeah, those were two standouts as we're kind of fighting over this middle odd no. I think, somebody from IX Gaming got it there. But Red, very impressive. So was Buckets. And I don't know how their comms are, but I want them to start calling some shots here and calling when they want Corey to get involved. I think that was an early rotation last game, and I think if it was up to Buckets and Silent, they would have said, hey, keep working on your jungle. We're actually holding it down fairly well down here. We just don't want to give them too many opportunities to get KOs. And unfortunately, Corey rolling down as a level 6 Frogadier for Dreadnought because they came down so early was just not a great look. Look at this pressure that Apple's putting on Tybusol, forcing them to retreat a little bit. LKJ on the ropes as well, and the chase is on. Apple going to try and get down. There goes 2, and they're working on Tybusol. Did they get all 3?
I believe they did. Sorry,
great exchange.
Yeah, no kidding. Apple, like I was just mentioning at the top, this bot lane is extremely strong, and they find a way to get a KO on all 3. Hoopa getting a nice stun into everybody to slow down the enemy team, and then net themselves a KO. Silent Red is able to get that evolution and surf before first Bees, which is a monumental evolution, but Pika is going to be catching up right there. The Blissey on lock for them, going to be a much bigger threat and going to be able to help their team out a lot more in that supporter role.
Yeah, I think IX Gaming just underestimating App a little bit, looking at the scoreline maybe from game 1 and not really respecting what this bottom squad is doing. But Silent Red and Buckets are playing very well, as now they're trying to just bubble them out a little bit, send IX Gaming back to their side of the map.
Yep, exactly. Buckets are playing just really, really well. This bot lane, a pretty even experience split. Nobody running the EXP share. LKJ getting a ton of danger again, but the safeguard just barely gets them out. Great heads up play from Pika saving that cooldown until they absolutely needed it.
Things are getting pretty nasty for Apple in the top path here as the Lucario OG is already level 7, and that's off the back of a couple KOs on their Lucario counterpart in the top. Here comes the Greninja, level 7, at least the same level as Mitsu here, as 7:35 on the clock, and people are going to get ready for this second round of Bees, of course. Oh, Photo Tyler getting caught out a little bit, maybe leashing the minute to Corey Bro, and along with Red, let's see if they can catch this jungler here, and they did a nice clip of damage. That rapid spin going to get Mitsu out of trouble, but there's Buckets to help out, and the Hoopa closes it down. That's a great look for Apple, and right on time as these Bees arrive, and they're going to get a big crop of that one as Silent Red catches a surf and keeps IX Gaming from advancing.
Really, really sick coordination coming out of Apple right there. They bait them into the bush and then collapse there. Great communication. They knew that the Greninja was hidden. The enemy team had no intel whatsoever, and now they start ripping the Dreadnought. They have it positioned on their side. Silent Red positions himself for a surf to try to get Pika into danger. The HP pool just a little too strong.
IX Gaming all over it here, but the Greninja steals it for the squad here as Apple's working through. They're going to catch the back end of nowhere on that as the Hoopa gets a KO streak of 2 right in the face of Apple pushing forward, but taking that Dreadnought is at least stemming this bleeding a little bit. OG looking, and they're going to be able to E-speed through a couple souls here if they want it, just in tandem with their squad as everybody's trying to get to the points, and that's a Unite move, and there's the Pedal Dance so we're working forward here, and now we're going to have the E-speeds and just KOs off the Rapid Spin Blast with KO streak of 2 for the Hydro Cannon Turtle as they're moving through and they're finding more bodies to take. The Greninja sending it back the other way with the KO streak of 3 themselves. This Greninja is on a different level from game 1. KO streak of 4, let's go!
Corey Bro and Buckets just combining so well. Buckets setting up with a lot of these Thundershock stuns, and then the Greninja just collapsing and finding a lot of these surf KOs. Tybusol, nice use of that full heal to make sure they don't get caught up by another one of Buckets' legendary stuns at this point. Tybusol really needs to find this level 9 if they want to be in contention right now. That team fight, I think, though, was a lot on the back of OG, by the way, getting to a really early level 9 and was able to just throw that extra damage and health pool total that they had in the enemy team's face and create so much extra space that that Apple just did not have available to them.
Without a doubt. Look at the faith that Apple
OG.
has in their bot lane trio as they're working down there. Did OG get a KO up top? What are we doing? No, they go down. Of course they do. Here we go. Unite move by Tybasol. They're moving through, and they're going to try to use the player advantage here as Photo goes down, and now Silent Red is forced to retreat. Look at IX collapsing all over the place. We see the Bone Rush in the grill. They're jumping back in. They're trying to find their counterpart, Lucario. The South Bows using their Unite move to get that buddy barrier up as they're caught backside of nowhere. LKJ catches the Bone Club on that. They go down, and now the Lucario's on the chase. Bucket, Scory Bro, and everybody is forced to retreat a little bit as that goal zone is absolutely destroyed here. And now we're playing forward, but look at where the Lucario is. Southpaw's getting chased down by the Venusaur. Good night, sir. You're going to need some Tylenol for that headache. It's Tybasol, baby. We working through, and we still find whipping in the grill. Look at that Unite move. Just absolutely eviscerating the frog. Here we go. OG moving through. Chaos Streak 2 for the Greninja back the other way. Unite move into this guts of this Apple squad. Corey Bro getting chased. KO. The frog goes down to the turtle. It's a snapping turtle, and it's time to eat, says Mitsu.
Oh my gosh, IX Gaming was just moving in a one-on-one situation constantly, trickling in just little by little. Apple was able to capitalize on a couple. However, Mitsuline coming in with a nice Unite move and then the Rapid Spin Water Spell chase down. Dreadnought almost down to 0 HP already. Silent Red in position to get it, and they do. Silent Red able to snake away that Dreadnought. That is keeping Apple in this game right now. Tybasol with a nice chase down though. The Pedal Dance Giga Drain is on lock. Huge stun out of the Pikachu to stop the bleeding a little bit and make sure that the team can't just rush the entire team of Apple down.
How impressive is Silent Red right now for
kidding.
this Apple team? They are looking phenomenal, and they are the only reason that Apple is still in this game here, in my opinion.
Yep, no kidding. Pikadiff tries to get a little cheeky safeguard break on that top tier goal zone. However, Sauce Boss absolutely demolishing them with so much extra damage there. I can't believe it. But a nice Bone Rush reset where you didn't think they would and were able to get that extreme speed going yet again. All right, this Rotom is definitely squared up to be the next objective these teams are fighting over. Sauce Boss getting shredded though to start this team fight.
Oh man, Tybasol playing very far forward. They go ahead and go down for that for that maneuver here. The Greninja makes them pay, but now the Blastoise sending it back the other way. It's a game of tennis down here, and they're sending each other's bodies back to each other. Holy smokes. IX going to have the position on this Rotom here, and it is going to go down, and great for closing out that first goal zone. So this Rotom has to eke down the path just a little bit further.
Tybasol's death there KO there may have looked a little strange. It went definitely extra value, but they were trying to push even if they get KO'd, because that meant that their teammates could break that goal zone, making the Rotom be a bigger threat going all the way to the second one. So definitely some measured use of their own life, if you will. You got to always know what your resources are, what is available to you, and in that situation, going down there for the sake of the team was able to buy them so much extra time, because look at what Tybasol can do for free now. They're just running around and farming and giving a little bit to Mitsuline as well. Tybasol at that precious level 13, 181 to 122, a way closer score line, and this team fight is about to pop off around Zapdos. Only 10 more seconds.
Yeah, nobody cares about Dreadnought here, and look at this. They're starting to get in the action. Apple does not want to wait here as they send IX Gaming scrambling a little bit as everybody tries to reposition, but look at where the Lucario is. OG sneaking behind them. They're trying to go for the backdoor play on Apple, trying to get the KOs right in their guts here as the Unite moves are starting to fly, and that's a hoop on bound. Let's go. The Rapid Spin in the middle, and now the Unite moves are flying. That's a Shoryuken by the Greninja. The left side already takes it. IX just completely burned down the Zapdos in the face of Apple. There's no KOs yet, but the bodies are going to start falling now. Greninja's the first one on the chopping block, and Apple's pushing. They see Photo Tyler. That's a big hoop on bound, but you're about to shrink down to size real quick, son. And there they are as they get KO'd, and now the double bucket ducats are coming in. Straight hundo burgers. If you got them, put them in the chat.
Hundo burgers for sure. Pika Diff getting it. Fantastic work. That team fight absolutely on the back of Pika Diff, by the way. I don't know if there's like anybody else I could give the MVP of that team fight to other than them. Let's jump over to get some action for a sec. Honestly, they are able to safeguard out of the massive amount of CC that was provided by, you name a Unite move and it made some CC, right? But that safeguard making them unstoppable allows them to get that auto attack to knock out the Zapdos. Absolutely phenomenal work out of Pikatif. That was a close game. That game could have went either direction, but great team play, great mechanics, and heads up play from Pikatif to make sure that their team is about to go up 2-0 in this series. And that's the end going up to victory is what I mean.
Yeah, but moving forward in the tournament, I love that you highlighted the importance of Pika Diff in that team fight. Unfortunately, Silent Red actually if you saw, they had to pivot backwards because OG, as I mentioned, was trying to actually backdoor them and kind of do a pincer maneuver as a squad, and that's how they ended up just kind of collapsing around Apple, which forced the Slowbro Silent Red to turn around. I mean, we're in garbage town now. They're just padding their stats. Ain't no sense of talking anything
Type of Soul needs 200 Ks in his games for sure.
Yeah,
he needs to make sure he gets them both.
That's all that's happening here. But Silent Red, clearly just a phenomenal Slowbro trying to pivot and make sure that OG doesn't absolutely rip their squad apart in that backdoor kind of maneuver, and in doing so kind of stranded everybody up front, which let the fight kick off the way IX wanted it to. And of course, paired with that amazing Pika Diff play, I mean, that's all they wrote.
It's all they wrote. Type of Slow with yet again a very impressive 130k damage, but let's not knock the performance of Apple. Only 122 points, a tough scoreline. That Zapdos was a extremely close flip, but great plays out of the squad. I think they really picked up their game in game 2 and found a lot of extra value. Specifically, Sauce Boss was making some things happen, getting some assassinations on the only weak target on the other side, by the way, which is like LQJ, who might be the only lowered HP target they could collapse onto, and Silent Red with some great positioning and really, really nice tank play. I do not think that the run is going to be over for Apple very soon. I think in a loser's bracket run, this team is going to be a terrifying threat.
Absolutely.